Hey Jesse, how's it going today?
Hey, Leanne, it's going good. How about yourself?
Good, yeah. So how are things looking in Essex County?
Things are looking pretty good. Harvest is right around the corner. We got going on some soybeans last week. We could use a rain, but otherwise things look pretty good.
So Jesse, you guys use FieldView quite a bit on your farm. How long have you been using it?
I believe we've been users since about 2016. After I graduated college in 2015, we were really looking for something on our farm to collect our data, to allow us to analyze it, and just to take that next step forward to better manage our land and make better management decisions.
That's good. So how has that helped you and your dad communicating and making those decisions a little bit easier?
It's been a huge asset tool, like just from the yield collection, like actually variety by variety, being able to look at exactly what each hybrid did, as well as on-farm trials, as well as the weather aspect, just knowing generally what rainfall happened. That's really helped us to make management decisions, especially in spring. We are spread out probably about a 20-mile radius. So the weather tools, really, the morning rainfall reports allow us to make those decisions in the morning. Okay, am I heading out north or am I heading south, or did we get the rain there or not here? And it can really save a drive. So, which in spring time is everything.
That's good. And you like doing on-farm trials every year. How
Yeah.
does you help with that?
Oh, it's immensely helpful. It just allows me to keep my brain from going scatterbrained. Having it all in one place where it will directly show up when you're in the combine. You can take it to yield. It's so easy. You're not putting flags out and losing your flags and trying to find those plots in 10-foot tall corn where you know
Yeah.
you flagged it, but you just can't find it. So it really works well. It really works well.
And you have FieldView in most of your equipment now too, right?
Yes, yeah, we have it running in the corn planter. Just last year, I was able to rig up on our grain drill to run. It's got an incompatible rate controller and an incompatible GPS, but we were able to rig a system up so that we could log our varieties, which is awesome. Just having that flow into the system. It's on the sprayer. Yeah, we got it as many places as we can.
Can you tell me about how you use that when you're working with your crop advisors, how FieldView fits into that relationship?
Absolutely. Yeah. We have a very good and trusting relationship with all of our input suppliers and our crop associates. So I've shared all the data. It just allows for smoother conversations. They kind of know what's going on. At the same time I do, it's just being able to stay on the same page, putting on applications of fertilizer. If you have the co-op do it, and you don't have time to do it yourself. It's just so easy when they can see exactly what we're talking about.
And what would you say would be some of your favorite FieldView features?
Oh man, I think the biggest thing for me was the field health. I think that tool is invaluable, especially on our farm. We've been doing a lot of trials in the last 5 years on fungicides, on if they're paying or not. I know in our first year, we did a fungicide trial in corn, and since we are on narrow row corn, we weren't able to spray it down the row, so we went across the row, which almost gave my grandpa a heart attack when he saw the rows. But when we saw that field health map and we saw how green it was, and then we took it to yield and saw the yield difference, it was amazing. And I honestly think if you don't have this precision software, this field view, any of that, it's so hard to quantify that data. Like you just can't bring it to the table. And it's amazing how many times that field health imagery will look cookie cutter to the yield map. I know there's been times I think it was one of my first years of using it where I was able to pick out a field map from mid-August and it directly correlated to the yield. It was bang on.
Does your grandpa ride in the buddy seat in the combine?
Oh, he loves it. If we're starting a field, my dad has a hard time because he's just looking over his shoulder, peering over and just watching that yield monitor. He loves it. He's 93 years old and it's hard to imagine all the things he's seen in his life and all the technological advances. And just for him to be able to see this is so cool, to be able to see some of the ground he's worked for forever, 50 years plus. Like just to see him and see all the data and just see it coming in and live stream getting filled in on this yield map. He loves it. He loves it. He loves coming in the combine. He's a daily rider.
Oh, right on. You're never too old for FieldView, right?
No, you're not. No.
You talked about the live streaming and being able to see all that data as you go. What's the most valuable part of having that available to you as you're riding in the combine?
Honestly, with how when we get to harvest, we're going in corn usually in November, and by November we're already looking at our seed for next year. So I'm the guy on the farm. I run the grain dryer. My dad runs the combine. So at the end of every day, he brings me that iPad and I sit in the corn drying shack and I just study that yield data and I'm making notes. I'm seeing what varieties we're going to use for next year. And if we didn't have that, it's not user friendly to come sit in the combine at night and stare at the screen in the combine and check out those yield maps or pull the data stick and go print the maps off. This is so user friendly. I think that's the biggest thing. It's the data analyzing tools. Just to see it on the fly and just make those management decisions because deadlines are always getting tighter. We have to make those decisions right away and in order to capture some of those early pay discounts.
Your seed reps are also able to, the guys that you're buying seed from or guys or girls that you're buying seed from are able to see how your products are performing on your farm too.
Absolutely. And just having that with the shared aspect of that, being able to drop a pin, put a note in, and then saying, hey, could you go check out the Smith farm and check out that pin I dropped? And if you have anything, add some pictures to it, add your thoughts, and let's keep an eye on that area. And let's see if we need to do something or if it's something. And most of the time, it's not something we can change in the year, but okay, how are we going to treat that for next year? How are we going to minimize that? It's just all about that learning. Every year we learn so much more. Whether
it was a planned or an unintended trial, you get
Absolutely.
to have a look at it all, right?
Yeah. One that comes to mind was in 2019. We had corn across the road from the home farm, and 2019 was such a wet year. We hammered down. We put the crop in as much as we could. We only got half our corn acres in that we intended to put in, and we had an unintentional trial where our starter fertilizer pump quit on us. So we did a round waiting for the dealer to come out and bring us a new pump, and I forgot about it. But come fall, I was looking on FieldView and I'm watching this strip on the yield monitor, and it's just dark red. Compared to the rest of the field, it was an obvious something went wrong there. And I just started flipping through all the menus on FieldView. I started to look at the planter map. I went to the nitrogen. I went to the pop-up fertilizer. I said, oh my gosh, we didn't put any pop-up on there. And that was like a 10 to 15 bushel difference. And it was an unintentional trial that if I didn't have all that data on FieldView, I wouldn't have known. It would have been a mystery.
It's nice to see that your fertilizer dollars are paying off then.
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially in a year now, like looking at next year with input costs going up, you want to use that fertilizer efficiently. Every dollar needs to count.
Do you have any advice for farmers that might be using FieldView for the first time, maybe just getting it set up in their combine this fall?
Yep, for sure. I think it's very important that you take that time before you hit the first field. Get your header calibration set. Make sure that when you put your header down and you're harvesting your crop, that the FieldView puck and the drive and everything and the iPad, make sure that it acknowledges that it's harvesting. Because you can adjust that. It can be set to high. It can be set to low. You want to make sure that when you lift up on the headlands and make your turn, that it's not logging that you're still harvesting on your turn. I can't say enough to how it's moved our farm forward. Before FieldView, we had no way to know really what we were doing and if it was really paying off. This has really allowed us to sharpen our pencil and really figure out what practices are working and which practices are not working anymore. I'm so lucky to farm with my dad and then with my grandfather. They have so much collective farming experience, and it's so fun to see all the things they talk about, all the conventional farmer wisdom, how it actually does pay. And some of it that doesn't. And it's good to quantify that and to know, okay, like we're doing the right thing and spending our money wisely.
Good. Well, I appreciate your time today, Jesse. It was really good catching up with you and talking about your operation. So
yeah, it was great to talk to you too, Leanne.
Yeah, have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Happy harvest.
Yeah, thanks. Stay safe.